Hey guys, today we start with a simple morning. The smell of eggs sizzling in the pan, toast popping up, and that first comforting bite that kicks off your day. It's familiar, it's satisfying, and it feels healthy, doesn't it? But here's something weird. You've been eating eggs every morning for weeks, maybe months, and recently there's been a strange shift. Not something dramatic, but just enough to make you pause. You're more sluggish after lunch. Your jeans feel just a little tighter. Your skin seems to react in small, stubborn ways. But eggs are good for you, right? You're not imagining it. And you're not alone. In fact, you might not even realize your health is quietly being chipped away because you haven't heard this part yet. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your city and local time in the comments. I'd love to know when and where you're tuning in from. Now, let's start looking for things you don't know. You wake up tomorrow, scramble 2 eggs like always, and move on with your day. But inside your body, your cholesterol levels don't hit the snooze button. Each yolk contains around 186 milligrams of cholesterol, over half of what's considered the safe daily intake. That adds up, especially when you don't stop at 2. Here's where the story turns curious. You don't feel sick. Your blood tests haven't raised any red flags. But you start noticing that your energy dips sooner than before. You reach for a snack mid-morning when you used to cruise until lunch. Your mind feels just a little foggy, almost like your body is whispering, "Hey, something's off." One morning, you decide to skip the eggs just for fun. You grab yogurt instead. Your belly feels lighter, your mood sharper. But then you go right back the next day. It's a routine, after all. Reliable, comforting, like that one friend who never changes, except sometimes friends hold you back. Now, here's a fun and a bit unsettling fact. In some parts of Europe, like Finland and Sweden, national dietary guidelines recommend no more than 2 to 3 eggs per week for adults at risk of heart disease. That's drastically different from what you might hear elsewhere, like the US, where 1 egg per day is often seen as safe. Why the gap? Because researchers still debate whether dietary cholesterol from eggs directly raises blood cholesterol in everyone. Some say it's not the yolk's fault, it's the bacon and butter you pair with it. Others point out genetic differences. Some people are hyper-responders, meaning their cholesterol spikes faster with eggs. You start wondering, which type are you? One thing becomes clear: this isn't about fear. It's about tuning in. The truth is, your body speaks up in little ways. You might get more bloated. You might notice your heartbeat feels louder at night. Or your digestion slows, as if your gut's not too happy to see its 8th egg this week. Then comes the moment in front of the mirror. You lift your shirt, poke at your waistline, and think, was this always here? The egg habit, you realize, might not be dangerous, but it's not neutral either. Time for a little humor to lighten the yolk, pun fully intended. If eggs are nature's multivitamin, then eating too many is like overdosing on optimism. You might start believing your metabolism is still 18, until your pants say otherwise. Now, let's talk numbers. As a general rule, most nutrition experts, especially across Europe and Australia, agree. Around 6 to 7 eggs per week is a sweet spot. Enough to get the benefits protein, choline, vitamins B12 and D, without overloading your system with cholesterol. You're not giving up eggs, you're just giving your body a chance to breathe. And by the end of this week, as you lay down at night, you'll feel that slight difference in how you digest, how you sleep, how your body hums when it's not quietly burdened. You're starting to notice. And that's where change begins. You're halfway through the week, and the eggs are still part of your morning ritual. 2 yesterday, 1 the day before, 3 today, because why not make an omelet? But something about it doesn't sit right. Not guilt, exactly. Just a sense that your body isn't bouncing back the way it used to. You start to wonder about what's happening under the surface, in places you can't see, like your arteries, your blood vessels, your liver. The thing is, eggs, especially the yolks, carry a compound your doctor probably mentioned at least once: cholesterol. It's not inherently bad. Your body actually needs cholesterol to build cells and hormones. The problem? You're not managing a lab. You're managing a body, and bodies don't balance inputs like machines do. Here's where it gets a little wild. Inside your bloodstream, cholesterol doesn't float around aimlessly. It hitches a ride on protein vehicles called lipoproteins. The infamous LDL, or bad cholesterol, is like the dump truck. It drops cholesterol off in your arteries. HDL, the good kind, is the cleanup crew. Now, if your body becomes overwhelmed, say, after days or weeks of excess yolk consumption, the dump trucks start piling up. The cleanup crew can't keep up. This is how plaque starts forming on artery walls. And the kicker? You might not feel a single thing. That's what makes it so tricky. You could be going about your week, hitting the gym, drinking smoothies, feeling great while inside. A slow, silent process unfolds. Here comes the strange bit few people talk about. Eggs can increase the formation of a compound called TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide. It's a byproduct formed in your gut after digesting choline, a nutrient eggs are rich in. High levels of TMAO have been linked to greater risk of heart disease. Again, this doesn't mean one egg dooms you, but it adds a layer of nuance. Your body isn't just reacting to cholesterol, it's dealing with how your gut metabolizes it. And the liver? It's your behind-the-scenes MVP, processing fats, filtering toxins, and regulating cholesterol. Too many eggs over time can burden the liver, especially if you already eat rich or high-fat foods. A few studies suggest a connection between high egg intake and non-alcoholic fatty liver, a condition that creeps in quietly, no pain, no immediate symptoms, just a slow buildup of fat where it doesn't belong. Let's drop in a light joke before you spiral. If your liver could text, it might say, "Hey buddy, I love breakfast too, but we need to talk about portion control." Now, you're not panicking, but curiosity grows. You start reading more. You stumble into debates online and in research journals. Some nutritionists argue that for healthy individuals, moderate egg consumption is perfectly safe, even beneficial. Others, particularly in Europe and Oceania, urge caution, pointing out that not all cholesterol sources are equal, and eggs might have a more direct effect than once believed. So who's right? Honestly, no one knows for sure. That's the most human part of nutrition science. We're still figuring it out. Some researchers insist eggs raise LDL in most people. Others argue that the effect is neutral if you're active and eat a balanced diet. Genetics, gut bacteria, even stress. Yes, stress can affect how your body handles dietary cholesterol. Now, you glance back at your week. You've had 8 eggs already. It's only Thursday. Your body's been whispering. A little bloating here. An odd heartbeat sensation there. Nothing to run to the doctor for, but enough to make you pause. So, what's a sensible number? For most people, based on data from heart foundations in places like Australia, Canada, and Scandinavia, the safe zone is no more than 7 eggs per week. That's 1 per day, max. But even that can be too much for certain people, those with diabetes, high cholesterol, or family histories of heart disease. A good approach? Mix it up. You don't need to ditch eggs completely. Just swap them out a couple days a week. Try oats, avocado toast, or Greek yogurt. Let your body recalibrate. It's like giving your internal systems a break from the yolk parade. And if you miss the flavor, try egg whites once in a while. No yolk, no cholesterol, just pure protein. Your arteries will thank you. Before we wrap this section, here's one more curious fact. In a study done across several European countries, people who ate fewer than 4 eggs a week had better cognitive function in old age compared to those eating 10 or more. No guarantees, of course, but it adds another layer to this breakfast story. So next time you crack that shell, ask yourself, am I feeding my body or just a habit? By now, you're starting to notice the smaller things. You burp more often after breakfast. Your stomach feels heavy even after just 2 eggs. And your sleep? It's a little off. You used to drift off within 10 minutes. Now you're lying awake, watching the ceiling fan spin in slow circles. You're still eating eggs, but now it's different. You're listening more closely. You're watching how your body reacts. And here's where the story takes another turn down to your gut. Your digestive system is a noisy orchestra, and eggs are a tricky instrument. While they're easy to digest for most, eating too many can actually slow down motility in your intestines, making you feel full for longer, but not in a satisfying way. It's more like your belly is protesting a bloated, low-energy protest with no signs, just discomfort. Here's something unexpected. When you consistently eat more than 7-10 eggs a week, your gut bacteria might shift. Yes, those little microorganisms, the ones that regulate everything from digestion to mood start to respond. And not all of them are thrilled about the high-fat, high-choline environment. Some studies even suggest that regular high egg intake can reduce gut microbiome diversity over time, which is basically like throwing a bad party where only a few troublemakers show up. And surprise, surprise, this affects your sleep too. Because your gut and brain are linked through the vagus nerve, and what happens in your belly doesn't stay in your belly. You might start experiencing low-grade inflammation, which messes with your circadian rhythm, and boom, restless nights, light sleep, or waking up with that groggy brain fog feeling. All from eggs? It's not so dramatic, but it's not nothing either. Here's a quirky fact not many people know. Eggs, particularly the yolks, are high in methionine, an amino acid that can increase homocysteine levels when consumed in excess. Elevated homocysteine has been linked to mood changes, poor sleep quality, and even anxiety. That might be why you've felt just a little off lately, emotionally or mentally, and didn't connect it back to your breakfast choices. Now, before we make eggs the villain in a food crime drama, let's step back. You still get solid nutrition from them: choline for brain health, protein for muscle recovery, lutein and zeaxanthin for your eyes. The key issue isn't the egg itself, it's the repetition. And now you're caught in the age-old nutrition argument. Is fat the problem, or is it context? Some researchers argue that eggs only cause trouble when paired with high-sugar, low-fiber diets. That is, it's not the egg, it's the rest of the plate. Others insist that saturated fat, even in small amounts, adds up and burdens the system slowly over time. So who do you believe? Maybe the better question is, what does your body believe? You notice something else odd this week: your skin starts breaking out more than usual. You don't usually deal with acne, but here you are. Around the chin, a little redness, some inflammation. You wonder, hormones, stress, or could it be the biotin and B12 from the eggs taken in excess, stirring something beneath the surface? You search online. You find some say it's a myth. Others swear they cleared up after cutting back on eggs. And the confusion deepens. So you test it. You stop eating eggs for 2 days. You feel a little lighter, digestion smoother, sleep deeper. It's not magic, but it's real. You begin to respect the power of routine foods, the ones we think we know, the ones that never felt dangerous because they're common. But you now realize even healthy habits can overstay their welcome. Let's ease the mood again. If your gut could leave Yelp reviews, it would rate your egg-heavy diet 2 stars. Too rich, too frequent, would not recommend for regular service. All right, so what now? You look at your week, tally up the eggs. 9 already. That's more than 1 per day. You're not in crisis mode, but you feel the pressure. Literally. Here's a gentle rule most dietitians agree on. Keep it under 7 eggs per week spread out, not stacked into 3-egg days. Your gut, your sleep, even your skin might thank you for the breather. You don't need to become an egg counter, just an egg noticer. Replace a few breakfasts with something fiber-rich: oats, chia pudding, even a smoothie. Give your digestive system something gentler to work with. And the next time you hear someone say, "I eat eggs every day, and I feel great. You'll know bodies are different. Yours is sending subtle signals, and now you're paying attention. You've started asking better questions, and that's what turns wellness from guessing into listening. The weekend arrives. The fridge door opens, and there they are, 6 eggs sitting neatly in their carton. You pause. It's not about guilt anymore. It's about balance. You've spent the week noticing, listening, learning. Now it's time to act differently, not drastically, but intentionally. So you take just 1 egg out, you scramble it with spinach, toss in some mushrooms, and use olive oil instead of butter. You're still enjoying the taste, still getting the nutrients. But now, you're playing by a different rhythm, one your body helped compose. You don't skip breakfast anymore. You just design it better. And that brings us to the heart of the story. The number 7. No, not a magic number, but a gentle ceiling most bodies feel good under. 7 eggs per week gives you the benefits: high-quality protein, essential vitamins, choline for your brain, without tipping the scale into overload. And honestly, it's kind of elegant, isn't it? 1 egg a day if you want. Or 2 one day, skip the next. Flexibility, without excess. But let's zoom in one more time. Your liver? It's breathing easier. No more relentless cholesterol processing. Your gut? It's getting back in tune, digestion smoothing out. And your sleep? Deeper, less disturbed. No strange wake-ups at 3 a.m. asking, "Why do I feel like a bloated croissant?" You laugh now at how long you ate out of habit, never asking how your body felt about it. Like a roommate who never says anything until one day they leave a passive-aggressive note on the fridge. Except this time, the note came in the form of fatigue, strange skin flare-ups, and a gut that started arguing back. You've also come to appreciate the debates among scientists. Some say eggs are harmless in healthy diets. Others warn that even healthy people can drift into risk territory with too much dietary cholesterol. And maybe the point isn't choosing sides, maybe it's learning how you react, and choosing from there. Here's something delightfully nerdy to chew on. In Oceania, particularly in New Zealand and parts of Australia, nutrition researchers highlight the role of contextual eating. That means looking at the whole picture, not just individual foods, but how they interact with your lifestyle, genetics, stress, sleep, and other meals. And when you adopt that perspective, you stop asking, "Is this food good or bad?" You start asking, "Is this still good for me, right now?" So what do you do with the leftover eggs in the fridge? Maybe you share them, or turn them into a weekend brunch with friends. You start enjoying them for what they are, a food, not a routine. Nourishment, not noise. As you reflect on the week, you realize something powerful. It's not just about eggs, it's about taking back ownership of what you put in your body. Listening, adjusting, trying again. And funny enough, this quiet experiment, this silly, thoughtful audit of one food, might be the most honest thing you've done for yourself in a long time. Now we drift gently into the close. You feel it in your breath, in your lighter belly, in the way your thoughts settle before bed. There's space again, not just physically, but mentally, like you took one step out of autopilot. You're not anti-egg. You're not on a crusade. You're just more aware. And awareness, as it turns out, is more nourishing than any single food. So tonight, as you sip tea or lie back and feel your heartbeat slow in a way that feels calm, not strained, you smile. You listened, you changed, and your body noticed. And hey, even if you go back to eating eggs every day, at least now you'll know what to look for, what to feel, what to adjust. Because wellness isn't a straight road. It's a dance, a rhythm. And now, you're moving in tune with yourself again. Goodbye. See you in the next video.